Hello everyone, I'm the Nerdy Fool and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We last time made our way to Dargonus and explored our palace, so now we find ourselves in the Administratum to see what they have here. Specifically, we're also here because we are getting Jai some sort of legal recognition to be a merchant, I think. I don't really know what to expect here, so let's check it out. Turn after turn, the unceasing stream of petitioners pours through the palace doors. The strong-willed wait patiently, while I can't read fast enough. While the weak-willed try everything they can to get ahead of the others. Treat every citizen as a suspect until they prove they can be trusted. Awesome. Greetings, Protocol. Welcome to the Palace of the Adeptus Administratum, identifying your lordship. Please follow me. I guess I shall.
It's about time.
We can talk to this petitioner specifically. Your face looks familiar. Checking coordinates. Continue in this direction to reach your destination. Your visit has been logged. Okay. So we've got a door there. This way is cracked. Can I peer down there or anything? No.
A new challenge for me?
I guess I shall go down this way. Grab some goods. It's on my planet, it probably belongs to me. The towering piles of papers and endless shelves heaving with ledgers evoke special reverence to the laws of the God Emperor in the hearts of the servants of the Adeptus Administratum. So this is the officer of the Administratum, or an officer. Okay, yeah, an officer. We've got several. And then the Master of Seals. But first, Chronicle of Case 683-02720-LA2987-B4-126. That is a long name. The parchment looks grease-marked and old, as though it has passed through many, many pairs of hands. Servant of the Imperium, Elias Tantanal, filed a declaration with the Adeptus Administratum that he is the sole heir of House Tantanal and the legal sovereign of the northern continent of the planet Ergona Rex. According to the submission, Elias Tantanal cannot exercise his right to this inheritance, as the wider family tree includes an individual who shares his full legal name. According to the petitioner, this individual is his great-grandfather. Given the loss of documents confirming the death of the second claimant to the inheritance, Elias Tantanal is petitioning for confirmation of this relative's death and permission for the enactment of his inheritance rights. Petition received. Preliminary review period up to 15 Terran years. Forwarded for review 23 Terran years, 4 cycles from date of submission. 23 years after he submitted it, they finally forwarded it for review. Request for a copy of the death certificate of Elias Tantanal sent to the archive of the Departamento Munitorium, 28 Terran years, 2 cycles from date of submission. Request rejected, 39 Terran years, 11 cycles from date of submission. Second request sent to the archives, 44 Terran years, 4 cycles from date of submission. Request approved, 52 years from date of submission. After 48 repeated petitions from Elias Tantanal, a third request was sent to the archive, 79 Terran years, 7 cycles from date of submission. Copy of death certificate of Elias Tantanal, great-grandfather to the petitioner, received, 84 Terran years, 6 cycles from date of submission. Documents forwarded for formulation of decision, granting permission for the enactment of the inheritance rights of Elias Tantanal, sole heir to the house and legal sovereign of the northern continent of the planet of Ergona Rex, 101 Terran years, 5 cycles from the date of submission. Death of Elias Tantanal, recorded by servants of the Adeptus Administratum. Place of death, Q16, Wills, Legacy, and Inheritances, Waiting Hall, Palace of the Adeptus Administratum, Dargonus, 106 Terran years, 2 cycles from date of submission. Death certificate of Elias Tantanol, sent to the archives of the Department of Munitorum, 114 Terran years, 10 cycles from date of submission. Petition for the enactment of inheritance rights following the death of Elias Tantanol, and for the issuance of a copy of the death certificate received from the deceased daughter, Eliaza Tantanol, 114 Terran years, 11 cycles from date of submission. So this guy sent in his request to receive his inheritance because it was being blocked because his great-grandfather had the same name, but had died. It took 100 years, 101 years, for it to be approved. No. 52 years to be approved, but then still needed more submissions. Yeah. But then he died in the administratum waiting room 106 years after his submission. I hope he wasn't actually waiting here for 106 years for a result. If things normally take this long, like if they tell you, hey, we'll get on it, but it's going to take up to 15 Terran years for the preliminary review period, I hope he goes home. Standing around for 15 years sounds crazy. And 114 years after the submission, there's a new petition to allow the inheritance to move on to his daughter, who also has an unfortunately similar name. Like, if names are causing that much of a problem in your family, I would make sure everyone's names were very different. Because that's crazy. Then we'll take that paperwork, so it'll be lost and they can't get their inheritance in the future. Because I'm cool like that. Sacred Scroll, the 1005 Administrations of Master Inventory Avasilius to the Adeptus, the Adepts of the Administratum. Inkwell of Livalia, the Impartial, first Master of Seals of the Koronus Expanse. Alright, let's talk to the Master of Seals. An ancient-looking woman in voluminous robes peers at you critically through her ocular lens when you descend into the bowels of her bureaucratic domain. Another noble bypassing the queue under the pretext of just wanted to ask. All you highborn ever want is just to ask. But what about protocol? That's what I'm asking. Who's going to follow protocol? Shai glances at you and whispers, What? So I paid off a few clerks to let us skip the queue, Shireen. Your time is more important to me than any little formalities. Ha! Sure, she's doing it to save us time, not herself. Very well, don't just stand there. You're here now. Or do you think the Master of Seals has nothing better to do than receive unexpected visitors? The old woman beckons over a servo skull floating nearby. Begin entry, current hour, current turn, current cycle, 41st millennium. Metal manipulators immediately begin feverishly clacking, taking dictation. Don't you want to know who I am? What is this place? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about the work of the Adeptus Stratum. Or my companion wishes to obtain a Mercatum Tabula Officiale. Don't you want to know who I am? Ignatius von Valencius, sole heir to the rogue trader Theodore von Valencius, may the throne's radiance guide her path on the other side. In a practice move, the Master of Seals twists her magnifying ocular lens and examines the ledger in front of her. The sole person to publicly assert their claim, to be precise. It's true. Theodore hadn't named a specific heir. And we know there were others. There was ourself, there was Adelthrad, I think his name was, on the ship at the time. And then the Master of Whispers, Kunrad. And when everything went down, Kunrad left, but he'd already been disinherited. But he thought he could somehow sneak in anyway. Adelthrad died by turning into a warp monstrosity, but I think before all of that, Theodore told us that there were others that they had been trying to contact, and Adelthrad and ourselves were just the first two to get onto the ship. So theoretically, there are other heirs, and any of them have equally as good of a claim to be the rogue trader, except, you know, we currently have the ship has accepted us, etc. But we were not specifically named by Theodora to be her heir. Abelard Wazarian. The woman directs her gaze over your shoulder, seneschal and right hand of the now departed Theodore von Valentius, and of her now extant heir. The colorless eyes of the Master of Seals suddenly fix on Cassia, a lady navigator of House Arcelio, whose name and deeds are unknown to me. She points her finger at the old ledger. It says here that the von Valentius dynasty has owed your house 1 gold throne for 30 cycles. Here, take this, and I, at last, will mark the matter closed. We've owed her house 1 gold throne, a single gold coin, for 30 cycles. I'm thinking cycles are months, because they were showing years and then cycles on that other document we read. So probably months. So for 30 months, we've owed them 1 gold coin. And it's been in the ledger. Fantastic. Cassia stares in puzzlement at the gleaming coin in her hand. House Orcelio thanks you for your service, Master of Seals. The old woman smacks her lips in satisfaction and nods curtly. Of course, I know who is standing before me. It is my job to know. Jai shifts, deliberately putting her jeweled augmetic on display. Does that mean that my reputation has preceded me as well, esteemed Damar? No, I have received no reports about you. You are unimportant. What is this place? The Master of Seals raises her eyebrows in surprise. You are in the very heart of the palace of the Adeptus Administratum. Day and night, hundreds of thousands of prefects, ordinates, scribes, servants, and servitors carry out their duties to humanity and the von Valentius dynasty here, never setting foot outside its boundaries for decades at a time. But knowledge comes through comparison. There are entire worlds belonging to the Administratum, so this palace is but a humble cog in the blessed machine of the Imperium. Tell me about yourself. I am the law, and I oversee order in this section of the Koronus Expanse, as well as the worlds of the von Valentius Protectorate. In accordance with the ancient covenants made with your ancestors, I hold the power to grant petitioners what they seek and to punish criminals for failing to carry out the Imperium's will. Jai continues in a whisper. She's ancient enough herself. Look at her. She's a bona fide living mummy. Rude. Tell me about the work of the Adeptus Administratum. The Master of Seals tuts in displeasure. One would think that the Protectorate's heir has no care for his tongue, if he is so willing to wag it to the point of blistering. However, I despise servant of the Emperor that I am, do not possess the gift of unallocated time. Let's proceed to the matter of your application. She's like, don't waste my time asking me about basic stuff that everyone should know. Everyone knows of the Administratum. Let's move on. My companion wishes to obtain a Mercatum Tabula Officiale. The Master of Seals peers over her ocular lens at Jai in disbelief. Then she looks at you. I take it you are her sponsor. In that case, you must submit a written application in conformity with template 404.01, as well as written permission for the processing and notarization of the personal data of your most sacred personage. Without it, I cannot issue Mistress Hedari. Mistress Hedari, the form for collecting the seals required to obtain the Mercatum Tabula Officiale, the certificate of an official trade representative. At these words, the saccharine smile drops from Jai's face. Seals? What seals? We will discuss that when Ignatius von Valentius has prepared the primary documentation. Abelard lets out a stoic sigh and rolls his eyes. You get the feeling that this is not his first personal interaction with the Administratum bureaucracy, nor is it his second. So no way of getting around these formalities. Could you handle the paperwork on my behalf? I will pay. I think we're already paying her. And if I refuse, or complete application form 404.01. I'm not going to ask if there's a way to get around it. This is their whole life is working here. They're not going to let someone just get around the paperwork. Could you handle the paperwork on my behalf? I will pay. Seems kind of silly, but it might work. She mutters something waspishly under her breath, ignoring your question entirely. Fair. Alright, then we'll just complete the form. The perfectly sharpened quill scratches pleasantly on the parchment, but for the first few minutes, the obfuscatory phrasing, footnotes, amendments, You are forced to write out the same details over and over about you, the Protectorate, Theodore von Valentius, Jai, and then also every living person who bears your family name. If you do not know all the required information, you must complete supplementary forms. Yeah. An hour passes. The Master of Seals nods in approval and stows the scroll into a tube labeled with your name. Next is the consent form for the processing and notarization of the personal data of your most sacred personage. Sigh forlornly. Give your written consent on the presented form. Jai, take care of this, or I am already regretting my decision. We will first sigh forlornly. The Master of Seals animatedly draws her cogita quill across the surface of a data slate, paying no attention to you. Alright, we'll give our written consent on the presented form. Another hour passes. Government bureaucracy at its finest. The scroll's whipped away into another tube by the Master of Seals. Protocol executed. Application received. Processed. Approved. The servo skull scribe taps out each word after its mistress's pronouncement. Come on, esteemed Damar. What's that you were saying about seals? The old woman unhurriedly holds out a printed scroll to Jai. Here's your document, Mistress Haydari. Unfortunately, it does not yet have legal force. I can certify it is as sacred. I can certify it as a sacred Mercatum Tabulae Officiale once it has received 2 seals of approval. They're easy to obtain. In the Imperium Court Administratum, servitors have been handling such tasks for over 150 cycles. There is one such servitor here on Dargonus, in the Rogue Trader's Palace. The second is duty-bound to keep the seal of the Telecos Epsilon system. That system sounds familiar. Either we've been there or it's one that is important. Maybe that's where the other main world, Kiabagama's at? That would make sense to me. Why can the seals not be affixed here? Why am I obliged to handle such a task myself? I mean, technically, I think Jai is supposed to handle the task. Find Administratum Servitors and have them place 2 seals of approval. The goal is clear. I did not sign up for this! Why can the seals not be affixed here at the Administratum Palace? According to Amendment 3C/8, implemented by Prefectus Estinia II of Dargonus, one of the seals must be kept in the palace of the ruler of the Von Valentius Protectorate, remaining a symbol of the unbreakable link between the Sacred Warrant and the Adeptus Administratum. Hey, Dragon Tear Leather, welcome. I am definitely discovering the wonders of paperwork, though I was already familiar with it, but it seems that Ignatius von Valentius was not. The second seal, the ocular lens perched on her nose click as she rifles through the moldering scrolls with a wrinkled fingers, is held in the Telecos Epsilon system in accordance with Decree OL-008/ZN. Unfortunately, after a fire 200 cycles ago, all that remains of the original decree is an addendum certified by an unknown adept with the initials AA. No instructions repealing the decree were ever received from Holy Terra, therefore the seal remains where it ought to be. So 200 cycles ago, a fire burned the decree, so we don't know why it's there, or even anything about it. Just an addendum certified by an AA, whoever that is, that indicates it should be kept there. So they're just leaving it there, because that's what the current rules that they can figure out from the addendum of a burned document seem to be saying. Fantastic. It's like, has anyone actually sent a message to the Administratum of Holy Terra to say, hey, the place where this was being kept by decree has burned down. Can we move it somewhere else more sensible? Because Terra probably doesn't know that there's this odd corner case they're dealing with. Yeah, you can't keep the seals nearby in a handy place because that would be convenient. And AA signed an addendum of a burned document that says that they should be kept on this other planet. So we gotta go there. There was a time during my earlier years of service when I performed the duties of a secretary in charge with logistics reports at a local administratum office. Your words, Master of Seals, brings back memories of which I am not the least bit fond. Why am I obliged to handle such a task myself? Decree 424, Clause 79, Amendment 8 of the law on certifying a mercantum tabula officiale with sponsorship of a bearer of the warrant of trade. The sponsoring a rogue trader must be present at the placing and certifying of each seal. If this requirement is not met, the document will be deemed invalid. Okay, find Administratum Servitors and have them place 2 seals of approval. The goal is clear. The Master of Seals nods with satisfaction. Please do return once you have prepared the documents. Awesome.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Take heed, rogue trader.
Oh, did you spot something? You did. Well now. Dusty note. Alam, I know it hasn't even been a full cycle since I was appointed, but please cover for me with the Master of Seals for the Emperor's sake. I completely forgot about one extremely important seal. I'm going to run upstairs to do it. I don't think it will take long. I'll be back within a couple of hours. The note is covered in a thick layer of dust, just like the table on which it lies. Well, I don't know if they didn't make it back or if this note was just forgotten about.
Victory awaits!
Looks like we should be able to get through there, but it seems not. Oh, we missed loot. Is that... Hang on, is that the room we were just in? Yes. We missed loot. I must grab loot. There we go. Departamento Exacta Report. Auditing and reissuance of Great Tithe Payment document for GX-75021 and GX-76021. In the last 2,836 Terran cycles, entries mentioning planet blah found 284,356 found, including copies. Entries mentioning planet that 1 found, including copies. Oh, are they wondering if there's a misnaming? That one document where this planet was actually labeled with 7.6 rather than 7.5. A full list of confirmed by the Adeptus Terra of all planetary objects located within the territory of the illustrious rogue trader dynasty of the Von Valentius was received 164 Terran cycles ago. After careful reconciliation of the data, it was found that planetary object GX-76021 has not been included in the collection of the Imperial Tithe for the last 2,836 Terran cycles. In the same period, the planetary object GX-75021 was included in the taxable sites, but did not pay its Imperial Tithe, thereby failing to uphold its sacred obligations to the Imperium. Subsequent analysis of the archive documentation reveals the absence of documentation confirming the existence of planetary object GX-75021, unlike planetary object GX-76021, which was discovered in files dated more than 2,836 cycles ago. Based on the internal inventory investigation, the Adeptus Administratum decrees that any mention of the planetary object GX-75021 must be replaced with GX-76021. GX-75-021 was the latest NVIDIA GPU at the time. Seems reasonable. The numbers do keep growing quickly. The Governor of Planetary Object, GX-76021, must pay the tithe for the preceding 2,836 Terran cycles within a period of no more than 50 Terran cycles, and, in the event of non-payment of the tithe within the prescribed period, Planetary Object GX-76021 will be seized for the needs of the Adeptus Administratum, and 95% of the population will be immediately subjected to servitude in perpetuis for the benefit of the Imperium, turned into servitors. Note, a precise reckoning of the tithe amount required in throne gelts is appended to the report. Note, an advisory letter has been sent to the Departamento Munitorum recommending that the Departamento conduct its own internal inventory investigation to determine whether planetary object GX-76021 has fulfilled its sacred obligation to provide recruits for the Astra Militarum. Well, if you're going to grab 95% of the population to turn them into servitors, I don't think you're leaving enough people that the Militarum could get their recruits. So, The Administratum looks like they mixed up at one point. When the planet was first found, they were calling it... let's see. They were calling it 76 when it was first found, but in the time since then, all documents have been written about 75. Okay. But it looks like whatever the planet is called, no taxes have come in because we don't see... It's clear that 75 was included in taxes but didn't pay them. We see no mention that 76 has been paying tithes. So as much as I realize this is Administratum fault where they screwed up, the governor of the planet had to have known that he should have been paying tithes. So all the governors that have been on planet for 2,800 cycles should have known they should have been paying tithes and have not been. So it's kind of the governor's fault for never pushing this forward as, hey, there's been a, documentation error, can you sort it out? But giving them 50 cycles, which I think is 50 months, not certain, but I think cycles is months. Giving them 50 months to sort it out, or the entire planet will be turned over to the Administratum and 95% of the population will be turned into servitors, is rough.
Follow my lead.
There is an area over here we haven't managed to get to. Through here. Do you have anything further to say, Petitioner? Look at them all dressed up in their finery. Important folk, I suppose. But in this throne-forsake, blessed place, all are equal. Are my eyes and mind failing me, or did the rogue trader's shoulder just brush against me? No, I've not brushed against you. We're like 5 feet away. Look at them. All dressed up. Your face looks familiar. Okay, none of them have anything special to say.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Looks like we have to get out of here. Well, we can go to our palace easily enough to get the first seal. So let's head back down to Dargonus, but this time go to the palace. Take the same team. Last time we went through all that effort to level up Jai, because we never use her, so she was super underleveled. And then we get here and there was no combat. Her levels did not matter at all. Ah, well. If we ever need to take her out somewhere, at least she's leveled up now. So, where would I find... Nothing marked here that clearly states it's where I need to go to get this seal placed. I'm going to actually go into the palace, because that makes the most sense to me. Now, where would I put it? Don't know. So I think we'll just kind of look around. A bunch of people we can talk to. Random Warden, will you tell me? Nope. Can't go in there. Yeah, we can interact with a bunch of people. This way's our bedroom area. I doubt it would be in there. Unless it's this giant computer. No. Yeah, I doubt it's any of those locations. It's probably in the main throne room, if I was gonna guess. Because we wouldn't expect people to go into our bedroom to get their documents stamped. Here, the next expansion is going to have Imperial tithes in it. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about whatever their next expansion is going to be, but they did quite a few DLCs for their Pathfinder games. So I'm sure there's going to be something. Yeah, why didn't we use this ship when we were getting to the palace? Why did I have to run all the way here when we've got a ship parked right here? That would have been far more convenient. Oh, probably need to talk to Jai here. There we go. Mistress Adari, my patience is not easily exhausted, but you're coming very close. I shall repeat myself again. No, I will not be issuing you any seal, not in exchange for your honest word, nor even for a bribe. Hello. I can see the family resemblance with Abelard now. You cannot see farther than your own nose. My dear Clementia, it wasn't a bribe, it was a gift. Now, about that seal. I just happen to be wanting to give you a gift at the same time I'm asking for you to do me a favor. It's not a bribe. Let the rogue trader decide. I mean, that is why I'm here. Your lordship, I apologize for the ugly scene, but might I ask that you rein in Mistress Haydari and put a stop to her inflammatory actions towards me? As the Exalted One is my witness, Shireen, I've tried everything I could to spare you any unnecessary headache over the seals of the Mercatum Tabula Officiale. I even showed this aid with a temper worse than a sandstorm, the certificate with your signature, but your Chancellor merely kept batting me away with her flail of baseless denials. I suspect that the reason for this has nothing to do with my humble personage. I mean, it seems that you were getting on her nerve by your lackadaisical attitude, but yes. Also, we were told very explicitly that the seals had to be affixed in our presence, so trying to get them dealt with without us there makes the document void. Clementia purses her lips and glowers at Jai. Oh no, this isn't about me at all. Jai narrows her eyes as she peers into Clementia's face with the latter until the latter finally looks away. I see. Well, Chancellor, will you tell us yourself, or should I help you? Jai really does go straight to trying to scam her way through, doesn't she? Yeah. There's a lot about Jai that she seems to lie regularly. And it leaves me wondering if what we know about her, how much of it is actually true. Like, is she actually the, 12th child of this distant noble family, or whatever it was she said? Or is she just random, person from a downtrodden world who's told that lie long enough that people are starting to believe it? Could go either way. None is true. It wouldn't surprise me. Whatever's the matter, Mistress Wissarion, help in what way, Jai? Mistress Wissarion, I require that document to be certified. Where is the court servitor, the keeper of seals? You may figure out your problems yourselves. Whatever's the matter, Mistress Wissarion? I am afraid that my words may anger your lordship. Clementia lowers her head in shame, as if offering it up to be removed from her shoulders. The seal you're looking for was lost over a quarter of a century ago. Of course it was. Of course it was. Her ladyship, Theodora von Valentius, ordered a new one to be delivered from the Imperium, but as you well know, we are a long way away from Holy Terra, and with warp storms ravaging the Koronus Expanse, we have been unable to receive a replacement to this day. So you've got one that was lost a quarter of a century ago, and one of them that's held in a random location because a burned document vaguely mentions that it should be kept there. Awesome. I presume the one responsible was punished promptly and harshly. I'd have you flogged for withholding critical information. Liv Comencia, the seal with the winter scale coat of arms. Could this be the seal in question? When did we find that? Also, winter scale shouldn't be ours. That's a different ruling house. But I'm sure that's something we picked up somewhere, and I've forgotten it. Like, it vaguely sounds familiar, but... Remember the bunker with the toxic air? I do remember the bunker with the toxic air. Did we pick up a seal there? Alright. Well, thanks for the reminder. I presume that... I'm going to go through the options if I can. I'm sure we'll be allowed to give her the seal afterwards. I presume the one responsible was punished promptly and harshly? Rest assured, Theodore von Valencia is ordered to have the malefactor dealt with accordingly. Servitude in perpetuous. I need to figure out how to pronounce that word. In perpetuous. Your lordship, he now performs his duties to the Imperium without reservation or error. It was randomly in their storage. Okay. However, she refers to her data slate. One of the worlds under Caligos Winterscale's rule, like Dargonus, was granted the honor of keeping the sacred sigils of the Administratum. The archives of House von Valencias mentioned 3 systems that are presently under the control of House Winterscale. Those would be the Forgotten Twins, Landgren's Belt, and the Nameless Star. I am confident that the Administratum Palace is located on one of the planets there. We have a better chance of finding the seal in the pockets of some rich collector or fence than on a remote world owned by one of your rivals, Shireen. I suggest we make contact with any traders we may encounter in our travels. People in my line of work tend to have a good eye for such things. There is every possibility that someone has waited their whole life to to return the great relic to its rightful owner. I'm not going to have you flogged for withholding critical information. That's crazy. There's something I must discuss with the Chancellor in private. Leave, you're dismissed. No, we'll give her the seal with the winter scale coat of arms. Could this be the seal in question? This is without a doubt the Administratum seal from the winter scale's realm, but why is it the original and not a copy? Ah, I think I understand. Well, the laws of the Imperium do not prohibit heirs of other houses from using the seal in time of need. I will order to have servants of the machine cult create a duplicate so as to avoid such embarrassing predicaments in the future. A seal from the winter scale realm. So this is the original one that was lost. And we are allowed to use it even though it's winter scales and not ours. Because it's a time of need. Is that going to be confusing if the seal claims that winter scale has agreed to something that we are agreeing to? Who knows? I don't know what I need to discuss with the Chancellor in private, but it's a button, so I'm going to click it. There's something I must discuss with the Chancellor in private. Oh, by all means, Shireen. I dare not waste any more of the precious balm that is your time on matters related to me, if I may excuse myself. Oh, never mind. I mistake my leave. Like, hey, I have to talk to her alone. And then we're just like, I actually don't have anything to say to you, sorry. I'm at your service anytime, day or night, your lordship. Okay, so we've got that resolved. I don't think we have anything further to do here. Oh, Janus. Find the seal on Janus. That's Telecos Epsilon. No wonder it sounded familiar. And then we'll have to return to Dargonus with the seals. Okay. We can make our way back to Janus at some point. We do need to go back in that direction because there's one of our worlds is being attacked by pirates. You have an old army inspection seal, big heavy brass thing with the coat of arms. That's cool. Are you supposed to have an old army inspection seal? Yeah, we gotta go to those other worlds. That's fine. Just seeing what options we have. Kiava Gamma is one we need to deal with eventually. And yeah, Vivo 6 is being terrorized and we need to check it out. Okay. Cool. I think that is actually Dargonus done for now. No idea. I don't think they use them anymore. Someone was selling them off in sealed boxes on Facebook several years back. Okay. I know nothing about army inspection seals to know whether that's okay or not. Feels like it's a not okay thing, but I don't know. It's very random though. But also kind of cool. Alright. Dargonus was a lot shorter than Janus. But I suspect we will have lots more to do there, because we haven't gotten our official ceremony for becoming Rogue Trader, because we need to deal with Vivos and Kiava Gamma first, I think. What do we have here? Foulstone. Yes. We are required at Foulstone because of a pirate raid. Any projects we can have you work on? Doesn't look like it. Janus, you are currently not working on anything either. And Dargonus is currently working on the restoration, where we're creating a new hive city established on the ruins of Scipione 84249. Alright, then let's head back out. So if we wanted to go to Janus, it's here. Where was Foulstone? Is that here? Okay. Because we could keep exploring these newer worlds that have opened up. This is where Voltvir was, and there's Eldari survivors there. This is Vibo 6. But I don't know how long the pirates are going to be there, or if we miss out on it, what kind of problem that's going to cause. So I do kind of want to get back to Foulstone. What was this one? Right, that's where the Gene Stealer cult originated from, so we need to burn that place down. Keep hearing conflicting things. Head claims that the coat of arms on surplus gear is supposed to be removed, but only seen it done once. Yeah, Kiava Gamma we have left. That's way out here, so it's been not a high priority to beeline our way there. We'll get there eventually. I'm just exploring things as we find them. So yeah, let's... And I have also been curious to see what is at the Imperium, because we do have this dangerous path to get to the Imperium. And at the time I didn't feel like figuring that out. But if we're going to be all the way down here, it's reasonably close. So part of me wants to just make the jump. Alright, first let's chart new routes, see what we can spot from here. Oh! Found a bunch of new stars. And then some other paths. Do I want to make some of these other paths safer? Also, can I actually just do big jumps? Yeah, they're dangerous. But technically I could, or deadly, I guess. Which means, if I hit this, would it create a new deadly route, like these deadly routes? And then could I spend more points to make it safe, and have a really safe trip that goes all the way, like, across the world, like, from up here all the way to, you know, footfall. Is that how that works? Because that seems crazy. But we do have 14 points, so creating, like, a really convenient super route does seem like it'd be useful. Yeah, and then stabilize, but yes, rather expensive. Okay. So I could do that. Because the idea of having good routes that go from Dargonus to Janus to Kieva Gamma and back, so I can just jump between my 3 main worlds, seems like it'd be a smart choice. I'm going to toss down a save just so that if things go poorly, since I haven't tried out this mechanic, because if I click that button, it just immediately jumps me there, then I'll feel bad. No, it straight up made a deadly route from Dargonus to Janus. And I think I'm actually going to spend the 3 to make it safe. This is going to be a major highway, more or less, to get between farther distances in our protectorate. Let's make it a safe one. 6 points spent, which is significant. But yeah, we can now go have a permanently safe trip from Dargonus to Janus and back. That is super cool. Also, the fact that it doesn't seem distance matters. I could just spend 3 more to have a route from here all the way over to here, which is crazy to me. Because I would have expected, you know, a nearby one. I guess if I was trying to create some route that goes all the way across the galaxy, or I guess the Koronus Expanse, I would expect them to make it more expensive. And they don't. It's 3 regardless. Don't want to do that too many times because it was 6 points, which is expensive. But creating a few of those routes does seem sensible. Alright, let's head down to Governor Viat's estate. Well, Governor Viat is dead, so we'll have to assume your navigator's especially talented. Yeah. And we will keep taking Jai with us because this is kind of her quest. And here's Adira, still level 16 because we just never use her anymore. Since we have a couple of psykers, myself being a psyker, just don't see the need to have Adira on the team. But at some point we're going to do a quest for her and I'll have to level her up for whatever her personal quest ends up being. Same. You've got Adira just left unleveled up.
None shall stand in my way.
So there was you who were important in administration work, I think. Tilius Quint nervously tugs at the hem of his dusty cloak and bows respectfully. Your lordship, the subjects of Janus welcome you. What cares have brought you to our humble world on this occasion? How are things on Janus? Without the enemies of the humanity on our land, wonderfully, your lordship. The people of Janus are indebted to you for ridding our world of heresy. Destroy the Eldari on Janus. I was thinking more of pushing back against the Slaneshi worshippers, but yes, the Eldari are also gone. Did I bring an Eldari with me? I think I didn't, actually. No, I don't think we have our Eldari with us at the moment. Because it'd be funny if I had brought an Eldari with me, and he's like, thanks for getting rid of all the Eldari except that one that you have following you around. The Emperor is my witness. Janus will continue to serve the Von Valentius dynasty, but not in precisely the same way as before. I appreciate the local species. Oh yes, the flora of Janus can take your breath away, while the fauna can inadvertently kill you. Alright, well, I require a seal to certify a Mercatum Tabulae Officiale. The secretary nods energetically. Of course, it would be an honor to assist the rogue trader. Wait but a few moments, your lordship, and your humble servant will have your seal ready. I guess it's not random if the seal is on Janus. Janus is one of our primary worlds. It's fine. Jai's expression is pensive as she twists a lock of hair around her metal finger. Interesting, Shireen. I assumed we would be dealing with servitors, but no. Some places in your domain still have this work being performed by people of flesh and blood. I beg your pardon. What's this about servitors? I have faithfully performed my sacred duties to the Imperium and the Administratum all my life, and guarding the seals is part of that. And after half a century, not a single seal damaged. I keep them in a special place, and I oil the handles every month, as the rules stipulate. Jai shrugs. I am merely repeating the word of the Master of Seals on Dargonus. Servitors have replaced an entire category of lowly bureaucrats assigned to the Von Valentius planets. Oh, around 10 years ago now. But after 70 years of service, and not a single directive, not from Holy Terra or from Dargonus, a complete breakdown in communication. What a farce. What an insult against all processes. Scarlet patches blossom on the secretary's pale face. But this is easily remedied. If the Administratum requires such a servant, then I will immediately begin preparations for servitorization. The will of the Lex Imperialis is supreme. You are going to begin preparations for servitorization. Jai is talking to you, who you can't trust. Do not trust anything Jai says, and you will immediately sign yourself up to be lobotomized and turned into a machine. Because Jai says you should. No, please don't. Jai nervously licks her lips. She clearly did not expect this response to her remark. Attilius, I do not think the Exalted One has any particular desire to see you lobotomized and turned into a mindless, clanking ghoul just because someone somewhere changed a law. Iconoclast. Attilius, there is no need for that. Yes, any servitor can place a seal, but can it do so while granting me a sincere smile or impressing me with an impeccable finesse and attention to detail? I think not. But you can. And dogmatic, he is correct, Jai. Each of us must follow the letter of the law. Oh, dogmatic is so awful. All the time. Iconoclast with a persuasion that we're guaranteed to succeed at. You can serve humanity while remaining as you are. Could a servitor replace a true administrative officer who is passionate about their work? So, this requires a higher level of Iconoclast, which we apparently have met. This one, if we were just Iconoclast, but too low to use that one, we could then try and persuade him to stay unlobotomized. James needs an intelligent secretary, not a brainless machine. Simply acquire a servitor for yourself. See, that's a reasonable answer. Like, yeah, we need you to still do your job. You are more than just the person who stamps seals. Get a servitor to meet the requirements, and all's well. Like, that seems the best option. I mean, it does require having a servitor, but they have, criminals for that. Like, as much as I like the Iconoclast and Dogmatic options for giving me the points and thematically fitting, I like this answer the best, so I'm going to go with it. Janus needs an intelligent secretary, not a brainless machine. Simply acquire a servitor for yourself. After lots of prevarication, Attilis' hunched figure sags. Of course you are right. I will continue to serve Janus in the Von Valencia Protectorate as before, and today I will dispatch a request for copies of edicts issued by the Imperium over the last 50 years. Who knows what else we have missed here on Janus. Yeah, if you haven't gotten all of the edicts for 50 years, like, Imperial edicts stopped arriving 50 years ago, you should have assumed that something had broken down in the process and immediately worked to rectify that. That's the same issue we had with that planet that is not paid tithes in 2,000 cycles or whatever it was. Like, okay, the process is broken down. Don't just hope it's never discovered. Realize that something's gone wrong and push forward for it to be fixed so that you're not dealing with the problem 2,000 years down the line. Or 2,000 cycles, I guess those are months. Regardless. Yeah. 50 years. Yeah, we just haven't gotten any Imperial updates in 50 years and thought it was fine. Jai lets out a breath, obviously relieved. That is wonderful, Attilius. Just wonderful. Just don't go poking at your eye with a long needle, at least until you receive a direct order to do so from your precious administratum. Here you are. The secretary proffers the sealed certificate with care, and may the Emperor bless your path. I must take my leave. Janus is always honored to receive your lordship. Because, like, he handles all administratum work on this planet, and the idea that he's just like, yeah, I'll just turn myself into a servitor because one of my many roles requires that I be a servitor. Dude. $40K is just special. But that's Janus done. Let's now go to Foulstone to deal with this pirate raid. So that's here, yes? Yes. We'll just go an unsafe route. It's fine. It's been a while since anything's happened. Demonic eyes had materialized and begun to slither across the walls of crew quarter 49. The burning orbs swelled like bubbles of fetid swamp gas, only in secluded places at first, later appearing in plain sight. Everyone subjected to their glare started experiencing headaches and spells of self-flagellation. After one of the officers peeled off a portion of his own skin to fashion a makeshift eyelid for one of the fiendish orbs. Gross. The section was quarantined since neither fire nor other munitions could prevent more eyes from sprouting up on the ship. The vessel was cleansed only by escaping from the clutching embrace of the Sea of Souls. By the God Emperor's grace, no perils of the warp prevented the vessel from returning to real space. I do enjoy reading those events, which is part of why I don't want to go safe travels everywhere. Because they're fun in a gross, eyeballs sprouting and people tearing off their flesh kind of way. Alright, Foulstone. What's your deal?